Greetings YouTube, it's Scooby-Doo Travels, and today I'm going to BlueBay Grand Esmeralda in Playa Del Carmen Mexico. As always, I provide tips along the way, so try to stick around for the entire video, whether you've booked already or you're still undecided. And no, you don't have to skip ahead to find out that I gave BlueBay a respectable 3.5 stars. Their website claims BlueBay is a 5-star resort, and they proudly display numerous awards. But the awards are from years past and nothing in the last 6 years. According to Expedia, 75% of the guests recommend this resort, and the average score is 3.8 out of 5. That's not too shabby, but not very impressive either. Let's dive in and see what we find. I'll start out with the grounds. This is a large resort with numerous buildings. Getting around requires a lot of walking, which we don't mind, or you can wait for a tram. Some areas are manicured grass, but most of the paths are lined with natural trees. The grounds and paths are nice, but I feel like they're mostly utilitarian. There's nothing along the path that really stands out as being special. The best part of the grounds is that you could get some animal entertainment. These little guys are coatees, and they're scavengers. They're always looking for a meal. But right now, they're having a little bit of playtime. There were a couple of areas that had a very bad sewage type smell. The smell was isolated to small areas for the most part, but on our way to checkout, the smell seemed to be everywhere. Ignoring the smell, I'll give the grounds 3.5 stars. The buildings have thatched roofs, which look really nice, and there's a distinctive Aztec or Mayan feel throughout the resort. But the buildings aren't that great either. The restaurants either have no air conditioning or the AC just doesn't work well enough. The first room we were given was very disappointing. The AC didn't work very well at all and ultimately caused us to ask for a different room after several nights of feeling sticky. The AC in my son's room didn't work very well either. We expected to get a recently renovated room after complaining, and we may have, but the only difference I could see in the room was that there was a walk-in shower rather than an old tub, and the AC worked properly. The room still felt old. Lots of caulking in the cracks with several layers of paint. None of it felt crisp and clean like a new resort. There was ceramic tile on the hallway floors of our first resort. The second building had a rough surface concrete. Neither was visually appealing. To me, it looks like a low-maintenance utilitarian finish of a 3-star resort, nothing close to that of a 5-star. Also, the elevators in both the buildings we were in were broken most of the time we were there. Other areas lacked a grand feeling as well. The entertainment hub consists of a theater, a sports bar, at least that's what they call it, a bar named Black and White, and a pizza snack area. All of this stuff is crammed together and it doesn't flow at all. There's one main pool area that have 2 separate pools. It looks like it's a single pool, but they are not connected. Some rooms have a swim out option as well. I know nothing about that. The main pools are the center of the daily activities with the entertainment and the bars and the food and all the good stuff. The pools show their age and it can be a bit crowded at times. Our time at the pool was enjoyable even though it was crowded. I was mostly comfortable during our stay, and the buildings looked nice, so I'll give the facilities a barely acceptable 3 stars. And before I go on, I want to address complaints about the timeshare people. I was approached by someone while I was waiting to check in. He invited me to sit down at a different desk to sign up for a welcome dinner or something like that. I declined because I thought he was a timeshare person. He persisted, and I declined again. I was never contacted by any other person after that to talk about timeshares. I didn't get any phone calls, nothing. I didn't ask him, so I'll never know for sure if I passed on something nice or I saved myself a headache. Personally, I think I saved myself a headache. So another source of a lot of complaints was the beach. The beach mostly sucks. There are lots of sandbags, and getting to the water from a lounge chair isn't pleasant. Some areas are better than others, but I want no part of this beach. It's just not enjoyable. Perhaps you've heard something about a lagoon nearby. Here's my clickbait alert. Clickbait alert. The lagoon is not part of BlueBay, so I made a separate video of that. You have to click on that little box right there in front of you if you'd like to see that. The lagoon is wonderful. But the beach at the BlueBay gets a whopping 2 stars from me. 1 star for having sand, and another star for having water. Congratulations, you met the requirements of a beach. Another big source of complaints in the reviews is about the food. Some people loved it, and other people hated it. There are many options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as some options for some snacks. Breakfast and lunch are entirely buffet. There's a buffet near the lobby, and there's a buffet down by the beach. Breakfast or lunch or dinner at the buffet, I can't complain. I lower my standards a little bit because it's a buffet, but I could always find something I liked. Breakfast was similar to every resort I've been to. You can get an omelet, hash browns, and decent bacon with a great tasting glass of orange juice. My wife and son, on the other hand, didn't care for the food at all. They tend to gravitate towards more familiar foods, burgers, fries, chicken nuggets, that kind of stuff. And at a buffet, none of that stuff is fresh at all. And it's really not what you would get from the U.S. either. And I guess that's why they hated it. It's just not the same. It's not what they expected. There were a la carte restaurants as well, seafood, a steakhouse, French, Italian, Mexican, and Oriental. We ate at the Italian once and the steakhouse many times. Strangely, the ribeye was poor quality meat, but the filet mignon and the New York strip were fantastic. In addition to the restaurants, there's a couple of other places to get snacks. The pizza bar is available 24 hours a day, and it's near the Black and White bar. It was pretty good. There's a hot dog / hamburger stand near the main pools that's open during the day. It was okay, nothing special. My main complaint about the restaurants is that either the AC doesn't work very well or they just don't have AC at all. Also, getting reservations was a bit of a hassle. They only take reservations for up to a day in advance, so every day I had to slice off some time and go up to the lobby if I wanted to eat at an a la carte restaurant. I rate the restaurants as 3.5 stars. Some of the food was great. Some of it wasn't worth eating. My family wasn't happy with the food or the lack of AC, and they would have definitely given it a lower rating. To them, I say, expand your palate a little bit. All right, now I want to talk about the entertainment. The main source of nighttime entertainment is at the theater. I didn't enjoy it at all. First of all, the theater is poorly placed near the Black and White bar. The nightly breeze can't reach into the theater very far, and it's not air conditioned. It's not pleasant, in my opinion, to sit in a sweaty theater. And when I was walking by, most evenings had what appeared to be a play of some sort going on. I'm not a big fan of the plays. Sometimes the play appeared to have some kind of an act involved. I don't know. Regardless, none of it interested me or my family. I will say that the theater was typically packed and that many people clapped during and after the show. I don't know if they were just being polite or if they really liked it. It's a mystery to me because I didn't get any of it. The daily entertainment at the pool was a different story. I found that stuff to be enjoyable most days that we were there. I'll give the entertainment 3 stars. The service at the resort was top-notch. I have no idea why anyone would complain about the service. Check-in was smooth. By the way, I always get a private taxi, and I don't travel on weekends. If you arrive in a giant coach bus with 50 other people, don't expect personal service during check-in. If you arrive on a Sunday, you might be stuck in line as well. If you want a giant hassle to save a few bucks to get to and from the airport, then have at it. I've used Super Shuttle twice now, and I highly recommend them. Just make sure you print your voucher and have it with you when you leave the resort. I booked a round trip in a private minivan for up to 4 people, even though there was only 3 of us, and it was just a little over $100. Don't think for a minute that you're going to be able to negotiate some kind of good deal with a taxi driver when you arrive. You can't. All the prices are fixed, and they're based on the distance and the number of passengers you have. Anyway, I give service 4 stars, and I'd like to take a few moments to mention a few of the people who stood out for us. Thank you. Also, you're not going to believe this. It is common courtesy in Mexico to say please, thank you, and you're welcome. You will likely get a friendlier reply than simply barking out what you want. And you could try saying those things in Spanish. Try it with me. Gracias, por favor, and de nada. Please, thank you, and you're welcome. It's not that hard. Your mom would be proud. Overall, I give the BlueBay Grand Esmeralda 3.5 stars. Management and the employees have done a nice job keeping this place operating. It's time for the owners to plunk down some much-needed capital to restore this resort to its previous glory. I've traveled to Playa del Carmen numerous times, and I've been tempted to book BlueBay in the past. The price always seems to be a draw, but until this year, I've always booked elsewhere for whatever reason. I'm glad we tried BlueBay, but we won't be returning. In my opinion, there are better resorts that are similarly priced. If you've already booked, don't worry. Lots of people enjoy the BlueBay. It's just not for us. I hope you found this review helpful. Comment below if you have a question, and I'll try to answer it. Click the like button because it makes me feel good. Hit the subscribe button or else. Scooby-Doo out.